Hi everybody, Lynette. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited today to share with you some journals that I created and some kits that go along with them. I have six blank wallpaper journals and 6 little mini kits that go along with them. These are listed over on my website. The link to that will be in the description box down below. So I'm just going to very quickly share these with you and what my thoughts and ideas were behind them. So these journals measure 6 inches tall by 5 inches wide. They are made out of vintage wallpaper and some vintage trims that I had in my stash. I was actually very inspired to create these cottage journals, that's what I'm calling them, from my friend Jenny, who is Jen's Junk here on YouTube. If you guys are not following her and you haven't seen some of the journals that she's created lately, I'm going to link her in the description box down below so you can check her out. She makes some of the most adorable, what she calls cottage journals, and I really wanted to run with that idea too. I didn't make a full journal. I didn't have any time to really play around like that when I made these, but she did inspire me to break out my vintage trims and my wallpapers and some of the other things that you'll see in the kits to create these. So just a shout out to Jenny, you guys. Please go check her out if you haven't already. Her link is down below in the description box. All right, so I don't remember exactly as I'm filming this how many pages are in each journal, but I will put it on the screen right now. Okay, so there are 2 journals of each type that I made, and there are 3 different types. So I'm going to very quickly flip through one of them. This one has a really pretty blue and yellow floral print here, and I just paired a couple of my trims. That is the closure, and then on the inside there's this really pretty dainty pink and white and green wallpaper. And then there's just an assortment of book pages. I have some gardening pages, some vintage ledger, some coffee dyed paper, tea dyed paper, I'm sorry, music paper, some tissue, vintage poetry book page, tea dyed paper, some vellum. This is a really pretty printable. Here, a vintage book page, some vintage notebook paper. So you could use this in a lot of different ways. It would be a great little glue book, or just something to add some summertime pictures to, or to do some journaling. This is a vintage office style paper that I have and love. Another vintage book page. Tea stain paper. This is a really pretty vellum that I have with these little rose images on there. A vintage, this one's a thesaurus book page. A little paper bag. And then, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Vintage ledger, vintage dictionary page, another piece of notebook paper, some brown packaging paper, a music book page, and then another piece of tissue and another tea-stained paper. So I love the selection of pages in here. It's just a fun little notebook you could do so many things with. I'm also including a wallpaper tag made out of the same wallpaper that matches the journal. It's backed with some tea stain paper, and then here at the top, this one just has a couple little pretty pieces of sari and a ribbon there around the top. So that is the little blue and yellow floral journal, and to go along with it is going to be a little packet of goodies. So I'm going to go through this packet, and then I'm just going to briefly show you the other journals because everything's pretty much the same. They're just different styles. So just getting into the little kit, I have a gold clip here with a little pink tassel. This one has a little pink tassel and a bulb pin. There's this pretty fabric heart with some lace there. So there are 2 pockets on this little paper bag. I did do a little decorating on it. This wouldn't necessarily fit in this journal, but it's something that you could put in one of your other junk journals or use it however you like. But I just glued this book page here, added the matching wallpaper here. There's a little vintage doily piece and a pretty butterfly. And then tucked in the front pocket, I have a vintage Betty Crocker recipe card. A little While You Were Out pink paper. See if I can get it back in here how I had it. Probably not. There's a vintage postcard in all of them. A vintage recipe card. This one is included in all of them. I love the little, that looked very cottagey to me. A yellow claim check. A strip of 3 vintage amusement park tickets. And then 2 tags. There's this brown tag with a little heart punch out there, and then a little ruffly white heart. And then on the inside pocket, there is a green guest check. A little piece of paper. This one says, "Be kind to all kind." There's a pretty book page out of this gardening book. I just like these. Jenny actually shared these with me a long time ago. A flashcard, a library card and pocket. So you can stick that inside your journal, and then a time card. So these are all the goodies inside that pocket. And then looking at the back here, I just glued another one of those gardening book pages here. There's some vintage peach lace here at the top, and then just another little vintagey cluster here at the top. So this could fit in another journal, or you could kind of deconstruct the bag itself and make pockets out of it in this smaller journal. You could take these little clusters off and add that inside of it as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, clipped onto the back then is this pretty little notebook paper, a vintage seed packet of some kind. They're all different. And then another little fabric burlap style heart there that you can use. So that is the packet that goes along with this journal. They both have the pink tassels. Some of the, the book pages and things might be different, but you'll receive that fun little package with your journal. So just to give you an idea of the other 2, this one is one of my favorite vintage wallpapers that I have in my collection. It is a vintage strawberry and daisy paper. And I'm not going to flip through the book pages again because they're pretty much the same. But this one has a peach vintage trim here, and then this trim as a closure. And then this is the vintage wallpaper on the inside. This is the wallpaper tag that comes with this journal. And then here I just have some peach seam binding, some yellow ribbon, and then this red embroidery thread holding them together. So that is my little strawberry garden journal. And then there is also, and then this is the little packet, which is all the same except the notebook paper is a little different in this one. I had this one with strawberries on it, so I included that instead. And then you can see here, these are what the goodie bags look like. So that is the strawberry journal. And then I have this one that has a little bit more of some pink and blue tones in the wallpaper. I used this vintage blue trim and then this softer pale yellow trim with these flowers. So on the inside of this journal, I just used this pink and white striped wallpaper. And then the tag looks like this. This one just has some pretty purple and almost teal, maybe minty green seam binding here at the top with some white ribbon. And then there are two little goodie bags with that same wallpaper here at the bottom and the back. And those have little lavender tassels there. All right, you guys, that's it. That's my little share for today. I have another video coming up where I received your Creative Studio subscription box, so I'm really excited. I have it filmed. I have my little projects made for that. I just have to edit it and get it up on my channel. So I'll be back in a few days with that video. Otherwise, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget, the links to Jenny's channel will be in the description box down below. She makes some of the cutest cottage style journals. I love her journals. I love her covers and how they come out. And also the link to my website will be in the description below as well. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.